you leave it off the table.
But that's why we are here to get in trouble, are we not?
Nah,
are we not in the tree of trust?
You get in trouble on things that you get on trouble on things that you want to get in trouble on, bro. Like me and Eddie started a long time. Like, hey, you like 9 years in, right?
Yeah, like 7 or 8.
You're 8?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
God damn.
He's right around my league. That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised I've never seen him.
Oh, you
shit don't make sense.
We'll get to that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start.
That's why I'm mad with it. That's why I'm mad with it. Straight out the trap with it. Whatever you want, whatever you need, it's on tab, get it. That's why I'm mad with it. That's why I'm mad with it. That's where I'm at. Okay, you chasing clout, oh no way, shit turn.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Eddie Liles back with another I'ma Get in Trouble podcast with my boy Terrance G is in the building. Lloyd Lee is at work or somewhere that nobody knows. Nobody really gives a fuck besides his wife and his mom.
Questionable, even then.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yo, we got Eddie Morrison in the building. What's going on, homie?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What up?
Trying, bro. So, we just came off the DC Comedy Festival. Eddie Morrison actually closed out the first day of the festival, that was weird because you were supposed to close it out the original time before the pandemic happened. We had you scheduled to close it out before the pandemic. Then we had another show scheduled that we had to like move everything around and then put you right back on the first day. So it all worked out. So I was happy to see you, bro. Not even a joke.
It was good. It was a good time. Even though, I mean, I technically didn't close it out because, Tony did his thing at the end. I can't tell you how many shows I've been a part of where it's like, you're closing out. And then I look and I'm like, no, I'm not. I can see him right there. And I'm not fucking going after him either.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you can't. Tony's one of them joints. Is like if you the closer, you still a closer, but Tony went up. Tony was got to go up behind you.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. But it was that night was even weird because they didn't turn the volume up. They wouldn't. So like it was like the speakers, the master speakers volume was down. So they kept messing with everything else but the master speaker volume. It was so when Tony went up, people in the back couldn't hear him.
Yeah, well, I remember I went up and I thought I did like okay, but like I was like noticing that some people, it sounded like the sound was weird. So I forget who it was, walked in front of the stage and was like, yo, hold the mic farther away because it was feeding back or something. But I thought he meant hold it closer. So he was like, hold it far away. So I was like, oh, hold it closer. So I finished my set just fucking like Eminem the whole time. and like screaming. He was like, talk quieter. And I was like, yo. There's people like in the side are just like looking at me. They're watching my set. Like, I'm like, okay, I know I'm not. I'm like funnier than this. They were just staring at me. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
No, it was fun. It was
still a good show.
It was definitely a good show. What it was, like literally, so the guys at the PA guy, I guess they had like a drag queen show there like the week before, the last time they used the PA system, and they were too loud because they only had like 50 people in there. So the PA guy turned the volume down from the back of the speaker, not from the PA. You see what I'm saying? And so then when we come in and now it's 100-something people, it's like 150 people in there. They never turned the volume back up. They just turned the volume up from the PA, which was making it have feedback. It was like it was kind of annoying if it wasn't for the show being a good show. You know what I mean? It was one of those situations. But I was happy. I was happy you closed the joint out. How long? So all right. So because I'm confused. I thought you started when I started.
Maybe it's because I've been saying like 7 years for like 3 years. I don't know. I thought maybe I am at like 9. I'd have to like think. It's gotten that long where I'm like, I honestly don't know how long, and I wish it was not getting long. You know what I mean? You don't want to say like too long. Some people will be like, I've been doing this for 15 years, and you're like, you're still doing it. You should probably maybe take a break. You know what I mean? Like,
like maybe you should probably look at other things.
Yeah.
Nah,
I'm not there yet.
I don't know, man. Well, because we've seen a lot of rooms go in the DC area in the last couple of years, right? Like when I started, you had Blue Banana. Didn't you come to Blue Banana
Maybe one time
before they closed?
That was yeah.
Yeah.
That also like one of the best ways to predict that like a DC bar is gonna close is they start an open mic because they're like just trying to get some money and they're like, all right, we'll do an open mic. And then 2 months later, you're like, the restaurant closed. You're like, okay, that was our fault. Let's take credit for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we had Blue Banana, we had RFD. Underground had just started. I think what 7? They're like 6 years in now. Underground is like 6 years going. You had the best one I used to love was the was it called? It's not Mad Chef. It's what was you remember the chef? It was the joint that's right before it. Right?
Chief Ike's, you mean?
Chief Ike's.
Yeah.
I love Chief Ike's, bro.
I mean, it was a good hang. I don't know about like a it was one of those shit shows where you just hung out with your friends for a while and then one friend would break off and just yell and talk shit about everybody and then come back. You would just get like hammered on a Tuesday, but there was also people yelling on a mic. I mean, it was fun. It was a good like hangout, but it was
it was a horrible mic. But it was a horrible mic. And not to say that the people that ran it was horrible. It was the venue was just shitty. And it would be every blue moon people would come in. But they had like cheap beers. It was like $3 beers, $4 beers, and then you could just. I remember. I think somebody got in a fight outside. Somebody got a strip tease. Like
people got in fights inside, man. What are you talking about outside? They would get like also like the weirdest audience members of all. There'd always be some like I don't know, some 50-year-old man. You're like, who is this dude? Like just like not a homeless person, but like a drifter.
Right.
Was always in the front row, smiling too creepily at like everybody.
And you always know too, the place is going to rotate out later on because it'll go out of business after the open mic is done. It'll come back up. It's a new one, and then it'll go through that one never came back. Oh, it's another open mic towards the end, out of business, and then it's the next guy's running the fucking open mic.
This is the thing. The Chief Ike's joint, the Chief Ike situation was Chief Ike shut down. Right? They let everybody know that they were going to shut down. They never opened back up. That joint is still sitting there empty for like the last to this day.
That space, oh my god,
it's so weird.
I mean, Big Hunt is open right now. I mean, it's closed, but I'm saying that space is there. I was just saying we should just break in, fight the rats.
Might as well.
I don't know how many rats are in that place.
It's so many rats in that motherfucking place, bro. Like that whole area, like the Griffin is over there. I used to go to brunch at the Griffin all the time, and it'll be rats running through. Like it'll just be a rat that runs through, and it's the like this is like if you don't know what the Griffin is, the Griffin was like this. Oh, it still is. I don't know if it's still open after the pandemic, but it was like this high-end restaurant that black people used to fuck with for brunch. They used to have like chicken and waffles, every black item that you have for breakfast. Every item that you have for breakfast. But they had like a DJ and bottle service going on. So it was mostly just black people.
At like 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Good time. Good times.
That's more of a black people brunch time, right? It's noon.
Yeah, man. So Sunday. What's up?
Sunday brunch is where it's at, bro. Like, come on, son. That's black people's time to go.
Yeah.
If you ain't in church, you're at brunch. Well, that's a DC thing because what was it? Newsbacks? Not newsbacks. What is it? Front page. Front page brunch was fucking off the chain, bro. Front page brunch was like
brunch or anything, like whether it's like brunch or just like Sunday as a day, man, is when black people go. It's crazy, man. Like I used to work at Sequoia in like where's that? The waterfront by Tony and Joe's.
Yeah.
Sunday nights there. That shit was crazy. I was like, do you guys? This is nuts, man. Like works tomorrow, and it would just be like an all-out shit show starting at like 5 p.m.
Yeah. No, Sequoia's brunch is still like I moved out Baltimore a couple years back, and people out here know about Sequoia's brunch. Like people know
that's wild.
It's like just people travel for Sequoia's brunch because it's that all white atmosphere. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's really elegant, but then you get to go in that joint. It's like all you can eat oysters. But it's like $100.
Yeah,
It's
and there's
$100
still
plate.
and there are still rats. So
And
doesn't
it's
matter
still
how many
rats.
because it's like Potomac's right there, man. I used to work there, and like rats the size of small cats would like
I was gonna say.
run by people's tables. I'd be like, that's why you should have closed your checkout. We're closed, man. The lights are off. That's on you, lady.
Huge rats down there.
Yeah.
You know what the one thing that freaks me out when I hear it at other places? People always talk about rats in New York or rats in Baltimore. I'm like, motherfucker, if it has water, there's rats.
Mhm.
Anywhere close to water has rats, bro. Like, I don't know, like, what do you guys think? Like, because people like Baltimore, like the Baltimore Festival, Ivan runs the Baltimore Festival, and like their symbol is a rat. And they're like, because it's not like a Baltimore rat. And I was like, motherfucker, DC has rats too. Our rats walk up. You go to the Bear Barn, the rats walk up to you.
Yeah.
Like, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They're like, why is everybody standing here?
That's why people like customers used to complain. They'd be like, get the manager. I'm like, he's gonna tell you the same thing I am. Like, that's it. We have rats. Like, if you can't, I don't know what you want me to say.
That's part of it.
Yeah,
There's
it's part of the
nothing else you can
ambiance. It's just a huge fat rat. Look how well that rat is, though. You know the food's good here, so
that's fucking hilarious. So all right, so how was the pandemic for you, man? Because I know before the pandemic, you was doing Kennedy, you was doing a lot of gigs with Underground, you was doing a lot of gigs at clubs. Like, how was the pandemic? What happened?
I mean, it was it sucked, right, for that reason, because everything kind of slowed down. But for a while, for like the first part of it, it was actually weirdly nice to like take a break from comedy, because you're going like, I was just going like 2-3 shows a night, like 6 days. It was just like too much, and you can't stop. You can't take a break, because I feel like every time you take a break for a week, and then like everybody's like funnier than you, or at least that's how it feels. Everyone's getting things that you're not. You come back after a week, everyone's famous. You're like, what the fuck? So it's hard to take a break. But the pandemic, it was like, I'm taking a break, but no one else is allowed to like get better either, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like, it was like across the board. All right, we're all just going to take a seat for like, well, we thought it was going to be a few months, and it turned into a little bit longer, but.
Right.
So it was a good reset. I'm glad that things are kind of like, as crazy as shit still is, but like at least shows are getting kind of back to normal, So
did you find that it was a reset for you, in that, like, did you look at how you were doing things pre-pandemic and say, okay, I liked this, I want to keep this, I don't like this, I want to scrap that? And then did you start to rewrite things or think about the act and kind of go, oh, okay, this is how I want to go? Or were you just like, you know what, this was just a great time to unplug, I like where I'm headed, and now let's go again?
Yeah, unplug. You're saying like, did I work on stuff during the pandemic, or like what I wanted to do?
Yeah,
I didn't work on shit during that. I didn't do. And I'm not like proud of that. I remember everybody when the pandemic happened, they were like, "Oh man, it's gonna be this creative like boot camp. We're all gonna like, we got all this time now." And I didn't do like I don't know what it. I can't. It's hard to like for me to write something if I don't have somewhere to take it.
Right.
Like it hurts. It's painful, if you like write a couple of bits and you're like, oh, cool, this is funny. Like I need to go like that night or like that week to like try it out or something. Whereas pandemic, it's like, I'm going to write this. And then you sit on that for like 2 months, So it was more about it. Like, it was more of a reset also, like, like priorities. And I was kind of like throwing everything under the bus, for comedy. Like I would, cancel on people. I would go, it was all comedy. But I realize now I'm trying to get a little bit more like balance of, all right, this is what I want to do. But you also got to like do other shit so you can talk about it,
right.
Like doing, I don't know, 10, 12 shows a week. Sometimes it's like counterproductive.
And that's kind of what I meant, right? Like for me, I was the same way. Everybody's like, oh, this is the creative boom, and this is where you got to get your online presence going, and it should be blossoming. You should have a new hour at the end. And me, I'm like, I'm living fucking Groundhog's Day. I'm not churning new material out. And it was also that same thing, like got to change up the pacing and all of that. So now, are you getting in more? Or are you finding that balance? Like now that you're starting to get back out, are you finding more of that balance and you're saying, yeah, this is where Eddie wants to be? Or you like, no, I still kind of maybe a little bit more comedy or maybe a little bit more family and friends?
Yeah, definitely more family and friends. But I think that's just a part of the fact that there's less rooms to do, but also like I'm just kind of like focusing on my time a little bit more. Like if I have some plans with like family or something and there's like a 5-minute mic, that I would be going to. I'm just like, I don't need to. It's all right. I'm good. Also, now what's cool is when you start getting like longer sets, you'll be doing like, if you feature for a weekend, if you like do a headlining spot, you get like, that's like, 5 mics in one, it's like 25 minutes. So you can work on a lot more. So you have more time to do that. Back in the day, it was like, you get so used to when you start doing like, I got to do like 13 shows a week, which 13 mics. So you're getting like 5 minutes, but now you get a little bit more. So you have like more time to work. So you can be like more efficient, with your time. Right. But
no, I definitely think it's more efficiency with it, like you said, with the featuring. But I want to say I haven't gotten to the point where I've tried to balance as much as I probably should. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I was like, man, like everything's back open. I mean, not everything's back like fully open, but like I'm like, let's go. Like it's at least gonna be halfway. So it was like, all right, go for bigger venues. You're gonna be at the halfway mark. Make sure that everything's at the halfway mark, and at least have an audience so that you can get, like you said, like a little bit longer sets. But I've been trying to do as many as fucking possible. Like, but it isn't a lot out there. You know what I mean? Like even tonight, like out Baltimore right now, there's the Motor House and then there's Tin Roof, right? And then I think Maria Sanchez has some. But in DC, I'm like, the only rooms that I even know in the DC is like probably Mike Kurtz on Sunday, Jack Coleman and them open back up, Shenanigans. I know Underground's back running. And then other than that, it's just like,
yeah, that's about it. Yeah, there's not much on other days on Wednesday. Before the pandemic, there was like at least 3-4 shows every single day, 3-4 nights every night. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times more than that. So you're right. Honestly, my whole like I haven't been going as hard. That's more dictated by the fact that there's just not as much shit open. I don't know why. A lot of people like stop. I mean, there's like a lot of new people in the scene, a lot of like beginners who like are trying to start some stuff. But I don't know.
I mean, that's what we all do, right? When we start up, we all try to get stage time because nobody's giving us stage time. So we try to open up as many things as we possibly can, just to get the stage time. Like, but like that's one of the things. Like I was telling somebody, especially in DC, like y'all two never met, and y'all been doing it around the same time, right? Mm. But and then Terrance is more on the PG County side. Was doing a lot of stuff out Waldorf, PG County, and then you were doing more DC, Virginia, and then I was doing more DC, Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Like it's like you could not cross. Like it used to be that you could not cross paths with a comic and be literally like 7 years of doing comedy and everybody's doing 13 mics. Now if you can find fucking 13 mics, at the end of a month every single club, every single you know what I'm saying? You didn't hit it twice.
That's one thing I realized. I was like finding myself being a lot like I don't know, like nicer to people, because it's like good to be nice. But I remember being just like an asshole back in the day of just being like, well, I got to get all these shows or whatever. And now you realize like the scene is like shrunken. So it's like, man, it's kind of like a shit. Like I'm going to see everybody. There's no reason not to just be like a, I don't know, more pleasant person or whatever. And like people also, man, they'll start good shows and maybe they're new at comedy, but like that whole attitude, I used to have. I remember like someone would be new and you'd be like, oh, I don't. Who is this person? Whatever. I'm like, I don't care. It's somebody who has someone who's probably going to be good, eventually.
Right.
So,
So you might as well try to give them a chance. I tried to explain that to somebody else, because somebody was like, yeah, all these new guys are opening up rooms and it's not good and it's bad for the scene and that. And I was like, dude, we all did it. Like you can't. You can't do something. I wouldn't have been the producer I am now, or like the showrunner that I am now, if it wasn't for guys telling me don't fucking do certain shit and me being like, fuck you, I know how to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's it. That's it. Like you're going to take those licks of being like, nobody's going to believe in you and you got to believe in your fucking self, and you built it. But we all came from that. Nobody, I don't think I've met, especially in DC, I don't think I've met one showrunner or one room that works that people didn't believe in before it actually worked.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You mean like, they were like, nah, maybe this is not going to work, but then it ended up working.
Exactly. Yeah. Like not the person that's running it. Like every person that has succeeded in running shows in the DC area had, at least in the DC area, I can only speak for the DC area, has everyone that's been successful at running shows was told not to run shows, or was it was said they'll never make it. This will never work out. This will be bad, right? And then they all made it, and then they all worked out. You get what I'm saying? For that person.
Now
You
I'm
know
telling
what I mean?
people to. I'll meet people and I'll be like at
Yeah.
a show and I'm like, hey, you guys should get together and like start a show. They're like, why don't you? And I'm like, because I don't want to, but you guys should. And then you call me and because I'm lazy as fuck. I cannot stand. I mean, I used to host like a show for like Ramin and Sean, and like hosting and producing is like, it's great, but I mean, it gets tiring, especially starting a show. And that pressure for like, if nobody is there is nothing worse than being like in charge of a show and it's like 7:55. So you wait or you bark and then you start 30 minutes late for the 4 people.
Yep.
And I mean, there's been some good shows like that too, but still, that is like just pain.
Yeah, because you hope that the 4 people understand what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And then you hope that they're also not so damn scorned that they're like, really, motherfucker, I just sat here and wait for an extra 30 minutes.
They can shut up. They got it for free.
Shit, you say that, but you know good and hell well when you're trying to build a room, it ain't like that. You're like, man, please just come back.
Yeah, no, it'll be good.
Yeah. I remember what was it, Science Club? What was it, Science? It was Max Rosenblum behind I was saying Science Club or whatever. And I remember one time we literally sat outside. Like I just showed up. Everybody kept saying like, "This room is dope. This room is dope. This room is dope." So I finally go, and there's nobody in the room.
Man.
Yeah, but it was nobody in the room.
Tiny, skinny room. Yeah.
So nobody shows up. Nobody's showing up at all. So we're all outside talking, all barking. Todd Glass just so happens like is playing the improv that week, and is like, yeah. They told me to come back here. Like they said, there's a mic back here. So Todd Glass stands outside while we're barking, dude, and then packs out the room. We go upstairs, it was fucking fire. Like those are the types of shit that like it's like if you never do a room, you'll miss that. You know what I mean? Like you never know who might walk in.
But see, that's the problem with taking a break versus the pandemic. There's no fucking Todd Glass doing shit. There's no walk-ins. There's not that. You take a break for a week when comedy's going on. People are like, yo, Chris Rock came in and he gave me a record deal. And fucking, like that somehow always happens if you like take like, well, I'm not going to go to this open mic. And then Chappelle rolls in and I don't know. You know, that never happened. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it does. That's happened. I remember Donnell. Jordan Seek used to run Eaton Hotel. The upstairs wild days or whatever, and Donnell Rollins just pops in, like literally just pops in and just like was like, "Fuck it, I'll do a set." And I went on right before him, and he fried the shit out of me because it was like an empty room. I'm laughing at myself bomb on stage because it's like it's comics and like a small bit of audience that are all international, right? And I go on stage. I'm trying to work out this new bit. I don't know where everything is. And so I'm like, all right, this is the punchline. Nobody laughs. This is the punchline. Yeah. Nobody laughs. And so I'm literally looking out and I'm like, and I'm laughing because nobody's laughing. Donnell goes on stage and then rips the shit out of me. Because he's like, what the fuck was that big nigga laughing at? Like, dude, like those are the type of things. Like I said, like if you missed it, it was like you just missed it. That was it. They not coming back. If they do come back, it might be 2 years from now. You know what I mean? So it was. I miss the as many open mics as there were, but yeah, I just can't wait for this shit to be old, like the pandemic part to just be fucking over.
Yeah,
for sure.
Either way, you said go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What did you say?
No, I was gonna say it's never gonna be over. I was just being cynical. So I wanted to take it back. How do I really feel? I'm like, yeah, it's never gonna be over, man. This shit's gonna be forever. We're all just gonna be like, all right, cool. What's up? I'm going out this weekend. My grandmother's dead. Let's do it. Like that's you know, like I don't know. That's just what we're gonna get used to. Like wear a mask or you know. So
you don't think? So do you think it's gonna eventually just turn into like flu season all times?
I mean, like COVID, it's never gonna really totally be gone. I just feel like this is gonna be for like a lot longer. Like this winter is gonna be tough. I think it's kind of cool that we've all just been like, all right, fuck it, let's just remember when it was like less numbers back a year ago in March, and I was like spraying alcohol in my groceries, and I was like washing it down. I'm like, I can't live like that anymore. Like I'm gonna go and do a show, and I'll avoid my parents, I guess, but I'm not gonna fucking, and it's like way worse numbers now with Delta bullshit. And I'm just like, well, what are we gonna do? Like I'm not gonna not be stand up.
We got vaccinated. Like I remember the comics who didn't get vaccinated, that are like not the comics who didn't get vaccinated didn't say anything.
Name them.
I'm not doing that shit. Because I don't know all of them. Every time I hear somebody say it, I'm like, let me go ahead and walk off. Because
nope.
Especially with black people, when you say you're not vaccinated, I mean, when they say they're not vaccinated, they got a whole fucking laundry list of reasons why, and I ain't got time to hear them. Like, because you ain't got none of these laundry reasons why you don't take Tylenol, motherfucker. So I'm good. I'm out.
That's different, though. Give me a white comic who's not vaccinated, and I'll shit all over him. Like, that's ridiculous. But, like, black comics, man, there's like history there, man. Not with like comics specifically, but like black people,
black people.
There's like, and like the government, I don't know, like some shit has been going on forever. Like I get that. Whereas the douchebag who is the January 6th at the Capitol who's not vaccinated, I'm like, I hope you don't get vaccinated because I hope you die, and I'm gonna fucking clap. It's gonna be amazing.
You have no reason not to do it. Nah, it's people that like I went and got vaccinated, and I told them straight up, like, bro, I'm trying to travel. Yeah. Like they told me, you told me I couldn't make money if I didn't get vaxxed. Like, I'm good, Holmes. Like, I'm out of here, bro. Like, nah.
I want to do stuff. It's worth it to me to like, whatever the risks are to like, get your life back. So
the question I was about to go to though, and I mean, it still relates to COVID, kind of. Why are you still in DC, Eddie? I thought you was out. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
What do you mean? Like you thought I was gone, or you thought that I should be gone?
All right. So give you flowers where they are, right? We don't really run in the same circles all the time, right? We always have been cool. We don't run in the same circles all the time. So I don't get to see you all the time. So I was like somebody brought you up, and I was like, nah, Eddie Morrison is in New York by now. Like I thought you was just coming down to do the Kennedy Center.
I should.
You know what I'm saying?
I probably should be, but like I said, very lazy. And I mean, I don't know. I get that question a lot, and it's getting to that point where I've been thinking about moving for a long time, but I mean, I don't know. I'm older, and like I want to like, I don't know. A part of me, especially when you hear about people coming back from New York, it's just like I don't know if that's necessarily like the best path, like to just go up there, start over again. You know what I mean? I guess you can get seen more, but at the same time, and I'm not doing this either. Like focusing on like an online presence and doing like stupid videos and shit, spending your time doing that versus like waiting for like, getting into the mic scene, spending like 5 years in New York.
Yeah.
Now, am I actually working on that? No, because I'm an idiot. And but whatever. I'm just saying that like, I'm debating it. Also, just, I like my apartment, and I like that I can like, I can walk from one end to the other and you're not touching, the walls at the same time.
Yeah.
Dude, bro, my friends in New York, they live in fucking like boxes, and it seems rough. These are all terrible excuses, and maybe
horrible excuses.
I don't know. I mean, like when they're interviewing me later,
it ain't no terrible excuse, man. That shit, like, it's hard to fathom, especially as you age, living in a fucking closet for $3K a month to then just sit there and go back through the same petty politics. It's just not appealing, man. Like. Call it what it is. It's just not appealing.
Yeah.
I move in 2 weeks, right? So
where? To New York?
New York. Yeah. So
what kind of apartment's gonna fit your ass? Are you kidding me, man? What? How the fuck? Because you're gonna where?
He upgraded to a refrigerator box.
That's gonna be hilarious, man.
Not a regular box.
Just like climbing in your door. You're gonna get like the cops called on you because you're fitting through a window. It's the only way I can get into my place.
He's got that leasing a deep freeze box next to it.
No, I had to go to Bronx, bro. So I'm on up to the Bronx with my bro. My bro already has a 2-bedroom with him and his wife. So I'm gonna stay there for a couple months. The whole goal is to get up there, get my feet wet. I still got to be back down here because I still have shows down here. But like, and I told people like already, like people are like, oh, you coming up New York? Like, yeah, you're gonna do this, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go there. I'm like, listen, we can go to all of those places. Do not tell any of these motherfuckers what I do back home, like at all. Cause like I'm like, I want to see, I legit, even if it's only for a month, 2 weeks, I don't give a fuck. Like I want to see how I fit in as a comic in New York first.
Not for what,
you know what I'm saying?
Get from you.
Not what they can get from me. You know what I'm saying? Because like I went up there once, and I'm at the Cellar. I was up at the Cellar. I got to see Brittany Carney, who recently got passed at the Cellar. But like I was up there with like fucking Grip Barnes, Von DiCarlo, Ray Romano's there, Frankie French, of course, she just passed. It was fucking fun. And then as soon as it came up, like it was like, oh yeah, he runs shows in DC. And it was like floodgates. And I was like,
people just asking for time.
Yeah, well, not even like because they don't in New York, you don't act like New York is very different. At least for me, it was. And I don't know if it's just because they didn't know me or what. It wasn't the ask for time in the sense of like, hey, when's your next show? Maybe I can come. Like, can I get some time? It was more or less like, oh, what kind of show do you run? All right. Well, when do you normally do it? Oh, okay. Well, what's the pay on it? Like it was like off the break. They like not even you paying $25? Nah, I'm good, homie. Oh, you paying $75? I got rent this month. I might do that.
Yeah, see, and also I don't want to fucking be that person who's like a 15-year comic headliner who's like amazing, who's like pressed to do a $75 like show, which is like that's dope for comedy, but that's not shit for a day's worth of work. Like that's nothing. Yeah. Which is cool. Yeah. I mean, I still have my day job, like, and I can work from wherever, you know what I mean? I'm like all remote, so that wouldn't be a problem. But like I also just like don't want that life. Like if it's being like a road comic and people that are like, if I don't know you, like your name, like unless you're doing corporate shows, if you're not famous and you tell me that you're doing comedy for a living, I know how fucking poor you are. And that it's just tough, man. It's tough to like run around and do like B rooms and like do, you know, it's just like I don't know about it. And hustling for sure. And those people might, you know, be able to make it happen. But that's right. That's tough. Like you'll drive.
That's with everything going the way that you hope too, right? That doesn't include all the gigs that fall through when you're on the road, all the people that bail and the fucking venues that shutter in the meantime, any myriad of things that go along with it. And that's why like it's one of those things that I juggled myself. Like, do I go and make this leap to New York or do I not? And I very much was like, I can't do that closet lifestyle. That part just ain't for me. I'd go visit not that bad, bro. Point. I could go visit at any point. I can't fucking live there. Can't live there.
Now this Eddie, I'm not. It's not like I'm gonna be. I keep saying I'm moving to New York, but my girl's still here. So it's like I'm not. I'm gonna be here 2-3 days a week, and then I'm gonna be in New York the other half. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my daughter is 5. I'm not gonna. If anybody that knows me knows, I'm not leaving my kid. Right? Yeah, like not. You know what I'm saying? Not to our own devices out here. Like I gotta. If I don't see my daughter at least twice a week, like I already feel weird. Right? But if I don't see her once in a week, it gets scary. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna be back and forth like once a week at least.
Yeah, at
minimum. Get to know that fucking megabus real good. Just that.
Yeah, dude. Because I was like, man, maybe I'll just drive back and forth, and then the drive up. This is what my fucking delusional brain was doing to me. Right? It wasn't calculating everything. So like I'm
tolls alone. Your tolls alone.
$51 one way. Yeah. $51 one way. And then $30 if you're coming back down from New York, $36 coming back. So you're already at $87, not including gas. It's about $110, $120 trip.
And you got to do your car, move it here. Because they clean the streets, which I'm also like, really? You clean the streets? Like, what? Are you kidding me? This place smells like, what are you cleaning? Like the dead bodies off the streets? Like, what?
Are you cleaning the piss with more piss? Like
piss? Yeah, they're just like, we didn't pee on this part. That's what they do. They need to get the piss under your car, so you got to move it.
Well, if 2 negatives equal a positive, us peeing on that, cancels out their pee. That's what we thought. Like,
Nah,
it smells like shit.
I know. So the plan is I'm going to leave my truck here. I got to do the mega bus. I'm going to be doing the mega bus back and forth. I don't really like that much because I don't want it. Like if I ever needed to get back down here on the fly, like I literally got to wait for a mega bus. You get what I'm saying? So
they're like every 20 minutes. You'll be good.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
The flight.
Oh, I got to catch a flight, but a flight from New York to DC is the dumbest shit ever. That shit is like $200.
No, it's kind of baller though. Like flying from New York to DC. That's when you're
in the air for like 20 fucking minutes. They pretty much like they're like, oh, you're up at cruising altitude. You may now use whatever. And then you like a song and it's like, please power down your devices. We're getting ready.
It's fucking hilarious. So we'll be cruising in and out. Welcome to DC. You're like, all right, well, that was fucking crazy. I wish the pilot was just like, yo, and if you were on a mega bus right now with those other poor pieces of shit, you would still be stuck in Newark behind a broken down fucking food truck.
You just like barely left the bus station. That's
you didn't.
You poor piece of shit.
Yeah, well, some schizophrenic homeless person shit himself in the front seat, so they had to get a new bus. It was just the driver was a schizophrenic homeless person who just fucking shit himself. Like,
look. I just took a shit and I'm pressing the button to dump it on these dumb fucks.
Yeah, dude, listen. This is y'all talking about me living in this fucking room, right? You know, and this is going to sound like I'm bougie, but then you'll understand why I drive everywhere. And I got to preface it like this. I love flying first class because it's the only time I get leg room. You get what I'm saying? So like literally, if I can't afford first class and it's under 13, I fucking drive, bro. Like fuck that. I'd rather just take the drive and feel my knees for 4 hours than fucking get on a goddamn plane with a fucking kid. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
or you could take some of that extra cash that you have, invest it in like a solid nutrition plan, probably lose a little bit of that weight, therefore losing the necessity for that leg room that you so desperately need for first class.
I don't think you understand how leg room works, you dumb fuck.
You're still gonna need the leg room. Lafayette Wright is the skinniest motherfucker I know.
Right, and I'm taller than him. Like you dumb fuck.
You're taller than him?
Yeah, Lafayette's 6'4". I'm 6'5". Yeah.
Don't try to play because you're gonna walk like a fucking obtuse angle.
No, man. I think it's dope. I think it's dope that you're moving, and I'm just trying to hide from the fact that the reason I'm not moving is because I'm a gigantic pussy and I don't want to have to come back. You know, that's the worst. Right. Where you're just like, hey, what's up, everybody? And they're like, all right. So you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
it didn't work.
It's like if I did move to New York and I didn't get famous, I would just have to kill myself because I have I'm not going to, or I just can't come back. My parents, you coming home for Thanksgiving? I'm like, no, I'm never allowed to come back to in the Beltway again unless I'm famous.
Like shit. No, dude, that's why like everybody that I know like went and did all of these fucking moving to New York parties. Right? Like, I'm moving to New York. I'm moving to New York. I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, that's stupid. Whoever knows I'm in New York knows I'm in New York. I'll come back down and be like, hey, I live in New York. But I have too many we run almost a show every week in DC. So it's like I'm definitely gonna be here.
If you do a move to New York party, you'd have to do a I failed and I moved back party. So
exactly.
I feel like that's the agreement. You have to be like, "What's up? It didn't work out." Which is fucking fine. I'm kidding.
And if anybody got you gifts, you have to return it with interest.
Who the fuck what comics do you know are getting people gifts?
Hey man, I've seen it.
You see somebody give somebody a gift?
I seen somebody get a flask is one thing.
That's different. That's not you should just get a person a flask.
Party gift. It's a party.
I get what you say.
Honestly, though, man, it's some accountability. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, if you tell everybody that you're moving to New York, you better fucking, try to make it work. Whereas, that's just not what I would do because I would do it real quietly and like, I'll be in New York and people be like, "So you live here?" I'd be like, "No, not really. I'm just,
I'm just visiting
out." Like, man, you've been visiting for 3 years. I'm like, exactly, but I haven't not made it yet because I'm just visiting. So fuck off.
No, and that was the thing. Like I'm so like as soon as I go up, this is fucking hilarious. So like I used to manage I used to be a GM for Domino's when the pandemic hit. I went back to being a GM for Domino's, right? And so like I even told the dudes there, like I'm like, all right, I'll drive the last week before I leave because I got to get a lot of stuff in order. I got to do a lot of packing, and I still got these shows. So I was like, when I come back down, I'll work. But I go up to New York, and like people were like, yo, can you do security for this comedy club? And I was like, fuck it. Like I hate doing security.
Why?
I fucking despise.
Because everybody, you don't even need a name tag, and everybody just knows that you're security. I mean, is that it feels?
Thanks, Eddie.
Hurtful.
Thanks, Eddie. That shit.
It's not hurtful. Look at the dude. Look at the dude,
No,
and
I
look
agree.
at any other bouncer you've ever seen in your life. How is that hurtful? There's no.
I completely agree.
It
He's like, oh, I can't believe that they would say that, and it's like, really, Eddie? Did
No,
you
I
not
don't. I
look
don't
in the
ever say
mirror?
no. First off,
Did you
fuck
not look in the
you.
mirror
I've
when you were
never
getting
not
ready for
said.
the day?
I can't. Never said that. Like, let's never put words in my mouth, Terrance. I've
It's
never
basically
said
what you said.
I didn't believe they would. I just said it's annoying when people do
gotta
it.
be annoying. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
annoying as shit. That's like you wear. That's like every time you go into Target, everybody's like, "Hey, where is such and such?" You're like, "Bitch,
Mhm.
I'm in regular clothes." Like that's all I'm saying. Like I don't even wear the. I have on a shirt that says "classically trained." I don't even wear security outfit. Security outfit is all black.
because you look like
You know
you're
what I'm
trying
saying?
to be
Like-
undercover security. Because security
At a
aren't
club, you fuck
typically,
nut.
typically
Like, what the
security
fuck are
guards
you
aren't
talking?
they're
my
not
God.
intelligent individuals. So you look like you would be trying to be undercover at a security joint
See,
and club. That's all I'm saying.
This
Eddie.
is
That's all I'm
this
saying.
is how people get hurt when they go. You want to know why I don't like security? Ed? This is right here. It's right here. Because one, everybody thinks security guards are dumb, right? And then when we smack the shit out you, then it's like, oh, you went too far. How?
You still
How,
knocked me
Sway?
out though, Eddie.
Hey, Houseway. This is like if you're going to use your words, right? And then you think I'm not smart enough to use mine, cool. Let me not use them. That's all. And then you get angry, and then you lose your job, and then they're like, "Hey, we had this security, this insurance policy. We can't have you no more." I've been down this road too many times, Eddie. You get what I'm saying?
So which one? So where are you gonna? Which one are you gonna work at?
I'm thinking about at the same damn
Every
time.
single one. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Nah, so like I was at the cellar. So the seller asked me did I want to do security. So yeah, I'm like, hey, I don't care.
Dude, that's a great. Honestly, that's a great.
Right.
That's a
Right.
great in. You know what I mean? At least, like you're doing something, like moving. You're making money, but you're in that space and you're
Right.
doing it. It's like whether you're gonna work there or if you're doing some like producing some other podcast for somebody else or help. Like you just you're still around it, so that's that's good.
And then I still have I have my shows. So it's like it's not like, and the only thing that I said that I was weary of that people told me don't really worry too much about was I was like, then I'm going to be working during the times that I want to be trying to get better. And then like that's you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the day, we all trying to get better. The way that we get better is practice, and the way that we practice, we go on stage as many times as we possibly can. You get what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah, but you're gonna if you're doing that like 5 nights a week, then that sucks. Like bartending is kind of an out. But if you're doing a door, like a door guy there, you're going to probably I'll feel like you're going to get more opportunities doing that at that time than you'll lose from the fact that you're unavailable during that time.
I was going to say, man, like the sheer FaceTime proximity, being able to like just absorb the atmosphere have to be priceless in and of themselves, I would imagine. The proximity alone would be dope.
Yeah, that's what most people like. A lot of people started as door guys, so it's like a lot of the people that because the door guys are the motherfuckers who get to meet everybody as they come in. You're there all the time, so people start to what I'm saying. So when you start to be actually truly funny, it's a lot easier to network because it's like, yo, you remember I was the nigga that was laying you in all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like. Blase. But I just hate doing security. So like at the end of the day, most likely that's what's going to happen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still looking for I'm like, yeah, I'll just go do another job. Let me go get a desk job where I work in the morning and I can go hit the clubs at night and call it a day. Because like every comic I know like can't get on the road during a weekday out of New York, and that's the weird part, right? Like,
why not?
I know because most of them don't work jobs that they can just take off from. You get what I'm saying? Like, or at least the people I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of them work Monday through Friday gigs, so then they can only take Friday night, Saturday night gigs outside of the state, which then fucks you up for Thursday night gigs.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Because if you get a hosting spot, then out of state, like, you know what I'm saying, somebody calls you to feature for them, you can't do it unless you're just doing full-time comedy. So it's like I didn't want to be the Uber driver comic, so it's like I either got, you see what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm like, all right.
And that's one thing I have an advantage of. Like I haven't been before the pandemic. I worked from here 9 to 5, but I can work literally wherever. I'd go to LA for a week. I've been there and just to hang out and do shows. And I was working the whole time. I was just working during the day and then doing that. So I can do that whenever. So I can literally move to New York for like a month. You know what I mean? And just hang out. Yeah. And I, tomorrow literally could go up there. I know.
You should do it.
That'd be dope, man.
You're too funny for this shit. I'm sorry.
I appreciate it, but we'll see. Eventually, something will give. Some I don't know. Enough of my friends will like leave, and I'll feel left out. So I'll just follow them. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what's gonna happen. Is when I hear about too many people leaving, I'm just gonna follow her, and I'm like, all right, I'll go. And they're like, we didn't ask you to. I'm like, I'm fucking going. All right, I'm not gonna be
too late now. It's
the last old dude here. And I'm like, hey man, you guys remember Big Hunt? They're like, we don't know what that is. Like, oh, it's really amazing. The green room. They're like, we don't know what that is. It's a taco restaurant.
RFD, yo, I tell people this shit.
RFD, man, that'll age your ass, dude.
Yo, dude,
so dope.
RFD ages so like people will be like, so matter of fact, Ralph Cooper, we got to wrap up soon though, but Ralph Cooper just called me because a comic came up to New York because Ralph works with Roy Wood Jr. now on the podcast.
Yeah, on that podcast, yeah.
And so fucking Ralph is like, yeah, man, do you know this dude such and such? I was like, yeah, I know. He was like, yeah, man. So he came up and he was naming all these people that he works with, just trying to, you know what I'm saying, show his thing. And Rob was like, yeah, like he was like, so he mentioned your name, and I was like, yeah, that's my little brother, right? And so he was like, oh man, the comic was like, oh man, how do you know all these people that I know, but I don't know you? And Rob was like, yeah, I used to run this show at the RFD, and it was just like, dog, like these new comics don't know what the fuck you talking about, Ralph.
No idea.
None. Like, dude, you used to get. I remember. I've had my best sets, and came up like literally finesse my best jokes out of RFD because it would be packed as fuck one week, dead as shit the next.
I've had my best and for sure
worst. Like
just the worst where you're like, no one should be doing this. This is the worst thing ever.
I think it was such a good. I actually came across one of my Facebook memories from me celebrating when Coop said he gave me the honor of being able to drop in anytime for time, which was a big honor to me because I had never had that with anybody. Plus, it was RFD, which was dope as fuck. But I always loved the way he started out the introduction. Y'all remember the like, do you see that church? I don't give a fuck about that church. We don't nobody give a goddamn about that church.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That whole shut the fuck up spiel. There's just not been I haven't been to a room since RFD.
That does. I mean, it was good, but it was also like a lot of rules. Yeah. We had a running joke where we'd be like, Ralph, all right, man, like terrifying everybody. Like, let's start. But I mean, it's the only place you could yell "shut the fuck up" and people would get it. But I'd be like, "Yo, Ralph, with the rules."
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. To open the show up, it had a whole record of rules. But it was, like I said, yeah, it was definitely fun. But it was definitely one of them joints where, like Terrance, like you said, Terrance, like you got the opportunity to go up and like come in and go up. everybody had that opportunity after a while because it was just like it was so many different rooms opening up that like people stopped signing up on the list. So the list would have like 6 people on that bitch. But the show was like 3 hours. Like they had to fill up like 4 hours worth of fucking time. It was that room used to be rough every blue moon, but so goddamn fun. Like, yeah. Yo, Ed, where can people follow you at, man? Because we got to get out of here.
Well, I missed the memo about putting it in my like name right here. But it's just at Eddie Morrison and then an underscore because of some fucking Brazilian guy that has like the Twitter handle Eddie. I don't know why, but Eddie Morrison underscore. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I don't tweet that much, but yeah, that's where you can find me.
You don't tweet that much?
I know. I still don't get that much of a response. I should do a lot of things. All right, motherfucker. Like, yeah, need to manifest some stuff. Start that first. Maybe I'll move to New York first, and then I'll start tweeting. My first tweet, I'll be like, "Yo, I'm here. Let me
start from scratch all over again."
Do you have any rat poison? I'm in New York. They're different here.
That's why I'm mad with it. That's why I'm mad with it. Straight out the trap with it. Whatever you want, whatever you need, it's on tab. Get it? That's why I'm mad.